Hey everybody, it's Theresa here of Larkin Design. So I wanted to come on here today and just do a quick tutorial with you about how to make traveler's notebook templates the size that you need them to be. So one of the things with using templates is that this is designed for a certain size. It's designed for a standard size traveler's notebook. And the notebook that I have created for my December daily album is a bit wider than this. It's 5 by 8 and a bit shorter than a standard notebook. And so if you're using a photo template and you're sizing down, you typically can do that pretty easily and not have to worry about print quality issues. But if you're going larger with a template, you can do it. I just wanted to share with you very quickly how you can do that and maintain a good quality of photo. So if you're going to change any of the things on this photo template, I recommend doing it before you bring in your photos, because this gray block right here, it doesn't care. It doesn't care what size you print it at. It's going to be gray no matter what. But once you import your photos into the template, then you're pretty much you're locked into that size that the photo is that you bring in. So make your changes before you bring in your photos. So I have brought up my photo template that I'm using today and my 4 photos that are going to go into the template. And first I'm going to click on the first layer. The bottom layer is always the layer that sets your canvas size. And so I'm going to go to canvas size, and it is set for a standard size traveler's notebook at 4.33 by 8.27 inches. And usually what I do for my printing is I print these on 8.5 by 11 size photo paper, and I try to double up. So I'm going to make this 8.5 by 11. I want the whole canvas to be 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to just go ahead and tell that on my keyboard, 8.5 by 11, and now we have a photo paper size canvas. Next, because I'm going to double up, I want to move all of this over here to one side. So I'm just going to press the shift key on my desktop computer and select all of those. I'm in the move tool, and I'm going to just slide all of this over here. I want to maintain the center of it, and so I'm going to drag my ruler here and give myself another center line for this side of the layout. So it's 5.5. It means I probably want it to be, it doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. It's just something to keep all of your elements centered onto your layout. And so let me just slide all of this over here and get it where it's on that center line. Okay, and so now I have this, and I'm ready to make it what I need it to be for my current traveler's notebook size. So first I'm going to change this background layer. Sometimes on photo templates the background layer is locked. On my photo templates it is not locked, and you can certainly manipulate that and do what you need to with it. So I'm going to make it the size that I need it to be, and I'm just on my background layer here, and so I'm going to bump this up to 5 inches wide. Whoops, there we go. And I'm going to size it down to 8 inches so that now I have the scale for my page, right? And hit OK on that. And now, of course, my center line can be moved over to the center of the page. And now I have to work with this. And so there's a couple of ways that you can do this, but at this point you can adjust your your elements to how you need them to be. I'm going to drag the corner of my border layer to the center line so that it is centered within my page now. And then all of these photo squares and rectangles can be adjusted as well. I think what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to move these two so that they are over here. And at this point I'm eyeballing it a little bit, and that's okay. You can eyeball these things, but if you want to use guidelines, just drag them down. So use a guideline to drag it down here, use a guideline to drag it down here, and I think that, let's see what I made this, 0.6, 0.75, that 0.76, that margin is 0.16, so 0.79, 0.69, 0.63, that would be about where the bottom margin would need to be. And then let's see here, 4.86, 4.76, 4.73. Everybody's different about what their tolerance is. That looks narrow, doesn't it? Everyone is different about what their tolerance is for eyeballing. So do this according to your own, what makes you happy and the level of detail that makes you happy, and also the amount of time that you have to put into it. So there we go. I've got my margins set, and I can move this over a little bit so that it meets the measured margin. And now what I can do is raise this up here, and oh look, that fits into that into that little thing. So this little thing here is going to be dragged over to here. Now if I want to maintain the aspect ratio that I had previously, I can just click this little link button here, and that will keep it at the aspect ratio that we already had. And you don't have to maintain the aspect ratio unless for some reason you've already brought in your photos. Of course, if you've brought in your photos, you're tied to that aspect ratio. Now these two I'm going to enlarge at the same time. I'm going to stretch out at the same time, and I am definitely going to maintain the aspect ratio on these because they are square. So, and notice how it adjusted that a little bit. So just pay attention to the changes that maintaining the aspect ratio brings. And that looks pretty good on that. And then I need to adjust this aspect ratio, and for this one I'm not going to maintain the aspect ratio because I want to maintain a consistent margin within this, within my borders, right? So I'm going to drag another guideline down here and just make sure that is meeting up pretty well with that measuring line, with that guideline. And so at this point we have a photo template that has been adjusted, and now you can bring in your photos to print it out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this one I had already edited on my phone, but I'm going to brighten it up just a little bit to make those whites really pop. And I can also crop it just so that it is a little bit easier to bring into the template. So I'm going to crop it to 3 inches at 300 pixels per inch, and then Control A on the computer, Control C to copy and paste into this template here. And so if you go into the layers tool here, you want to make sure that you're clicked on that template, Control V, so you paste it into your template, and then I'm holding down the Shift key to maintain the aspect ratio of this photo. Click OK, and then right click on the layer that your photo is and click Create Clipping Mask. And that way you can bring in your photos that you need to bring in. This photo needs just a little adjustment on the perspective. There's a little bit of, actually now that I bring it into the lens correcting tool, it looks pretty good. Okay, so cancel that. I'm not sure what that is right there. It must be something from my jacket or something. That's okay. I'm going to go back into my adjustments layer here and brighten that one as well. Brightening is usually about the only tool that I use. I also do a unsharp mask real quick. I leave it at this level, 99%, a radius of 1 pixel and a threshold of 5. And just do that real quick, and then I can, crop it down, and here's where I can probably crop out that little white thing that's not quite right there. That will also get cropped out when I bring it into the template. So I'm going to copy that now and click on this template spot, and then go to my layers and create the clipping mask, and that looks pretty good for that one. Okay, next one is the photo of Alan and myself, and I'm going to just brighten that a little bit as well, and sharpen, and then crop again. And I've just chosen arbitrarily 3 inches to crop it by. You can, that seems to be a pretty manageable size. But I definitely recommend cropping your photos down a little bit before you bring them into a photo template, so that they're easier to manage. If you bring in a full-size photo into this template, it's going to be really huge. And then create my clipping mask. All right, and then I just have one more, and that is our house with the snow falling. And again, I'm just brightening that up a bit. Flatten my image, unsharp mask, and then crop again. And this one I think I'm going to crop at 4 inches just because it's going horizontally. Actually, let me do this at 5 inches because it's going horizontally across the bottom of the template, and I want to make sure that I don't have to adjust that up. So going back into my layers here, copy and paste. All right, and that's awesome. Let me do my clipping mask here and see how that looks. We can probably leave it like that, or if you want to crop it down a bit, you can. These are your options that you have for once you bring your photo into the template. So I hope that has been helpful for you in learning how to make photo templates, digital photo templates work for you. This photo template is now ready to go into my, to be sent to my printer, and then I will be creating my layout, and you'll be able to see my layout for this day coming up on my YouTube very soon. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys back here very soon. Bye-bye.